Prosperity isn't always about what you earn, it's about how whole you feel. It's peace after pain, clarity after confusion, and confidence after years of questioning your worth. I know somebody felt that just like I did. Come on now. Come on, come on. I always say that success moves at the speed of execution, and sometimes that execution begins with the hardest yet most powerful decision you can ever make, and that's to love you. Mm. Are y'all ready for what we're going to talk about today? Let's get into it.
Here we go! Nicole Johnson, Nicole Johnson, Nicole Johnson, let's go!
Welcome to another episode of Prosperity Conversations. I am your host, the Nicole Johnson, founder of the Wealthy Women Lifestyle. And today's guest brings a story of radical self love, transformation, and grace. And how could she not? Living out there by the beautiful beaches, warm water. Okay, am I rubbing it in? Yeah, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. She's gonna do a little bit of rubbing herself, okay? Angie Hawkins is an inner glow coach, and that was the first time I had ever heard of that. But I can't wait to dive in with her. She's also a motivational speaker and author of Running in Slippers, a raw and powerful memoir that takes readers through her journey from self loathing to self love. After surviving a suicide attempt 5 years ago, Angie completely rebuilt her life from the inside out through her glow method. Come on with the glow. She now helps women stop chasing approval and start embodying the radiant, confident version of themselves that's been there all along. I want you guys to clap it up and welcome Angie to Prosperity Conversations. Hey,
Hey
Angie,
Nicole, how
how
are
are
you?
you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Good, good. Look at the palm trees. I love it. I love it. And so, welcome to Prosperity Conversations. We are so glad to have you here. So, we're going to talk about all the things that I have learned about you by reading some of the information you provided. But let's start where we always start. What exactly does prosperity mean to you?
Prosperity to me means living a happy and fulfilling life. And I say that because for a long time, I was living for things outside of myself for external validation. And that's an exhausting way to live. And I was very unhappy and very unfulfilled, despite having a successful corporate career and actually being financially well off.
Mm, you said something just in that moment. Money does not define our happiness. Prosperity to the bank account doesn't always mean that we are happy.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so when you talk about wealth meaning nothing without inner peace, what did rebuilding your life from the inside out actually look like for you?
So, my philosophy is that we're all born with this light inside of us. And, because you see kids, they're running around, they're screaming, their clothes don't match, their clothes are dirty. Like they don't care what anyone thinks. They have no shame about anything. But we go about life and there's family systems, there's society systems, there's all of these things outside of us that tell us what we should be doing, what we should not be doing. And we
Mhm.
slowly start to dim our light to fit into all these things outside of ourselves. And it doesn't feel good because then we hide away the part, like who we really are. And
Wow.
so, yeah, it's all about just coming. And that's another thing. I feel like a lot of self help is geared toward or marketed about like fixing yourself or changing yourself. But what I work with women on is basically just coming back home to yourself because we're all
Mhm.
born whole and fulfilled and happy. We just need to come back to it.
Oh, that's wonderful. I remember a time where I was with my daughter and I was looking at her. go from a group of friends to a group of friends, a group of friends. And I watched her really, her personality change from when she was with Group
Mm.
A, Group B, Group C. And I was just like, this poor child gonna be confused. And so when we were leaving, we were, outside of the people, the public. I asked her about it, and she's like, "Well, this is a group that feels this way. This group feels this way, and this group feels this way." I said, "But how do you feel?"
Yeah.
And so I told her, I said, "You always laugh like mom is over the top, but mom is consistently over the top everywhere she goes.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that they know. When Nicole show up, the party can start because here she comes." And so one of my coworkers went home with me, and I picked her up to take her to an appointment. When she got out the car, my coworker said, "I can't believe you talk to your child the same way you talk to us at work." I said, "Why would I be different? I got my mindset is real limited, and I only have room for one me. That's it. I don't want to
Yeah.
get you." So I totally understand that. And once we find out, discover who we are, and I think that's really what I hear you talking about when it comes to self-love. We
Yeah.
gotta learn to love that person. So yeah, we mentioned the glow method.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm scared to answer the next question, but I'm finna just jump right in. Okay, you created the glow method to help
Yes.
women move from chasing love to embodying it, right?
Yes.
How do you start with that transformation with the people you work with?
So the GLOW method is an acronym. G stands for go back to your childhood. And this is the most important piece because, again, we lose our glow during our formative years. So we need to figure out why that happened because it's usually from some kind of interaction with our primary caregivers because we learned how to modify our behavior to be emotionally safe in that environment. And again, like how your daughter was doing in the different friend groups, because she's
Mhm.
like, well, it may not be safe to be a certain way with this group of people, so I'm going to
Right.
modify my behavior. And
Yep.
that's what we did as children. And so once you can identify what that thing is, then
Mhm.
you can work from then on out. And so L stands for light yourself up because it is a process to rekindle your light, but there are so many quick wins right off the bat just from going back. Because usually, if you ask someone, like, what lit you up when you were 6 years old? A lot of women don't even remember because they're so disconnected from themselves. But
Mhm.
other people are like, oh my God, I love to paint, but I haven't done that in 30 years. And then they start painting again and they're just like so happy and excited again. So there's so many quick wins right off the bat that you can do. And because another part of my philosophy is everyone should be doing at least one thing a day that brings them joy because I feel like a lot of us just kind of get caught up in the grind of life. It's like you go to work, you run errands, you just do life
Yes.
things, and we're not
Yes.
having any fun, but you should do at least one thing a day that brings you joy to help rekindle your life. O stands for overcome external validation because we give so much of our power away to things outside of us, whether it's work or family or relationships. And, true validation, like you are your own validation. And as
That's
long as
right.
you're living in integrity and you're living according to your values and you're happy with the way you're living, once you have that foundation, you don't care what anyone thinks of you or if they're judging you for how you're living your life. So it's coming back to that internal source of validation. And then W stands for welcome yourself back home, because again, it's not about fixing yourself, it's about remembering who you are.
Oh, that is absolutely wonderful because we don't hear that too often, right?
Yeah.
I tell my clients, I said a lot of what we do is therapeutic, but I ain't a therapist. I'm not the therapist. And we laugh about it all the time. But a lot of when I have a 5-step process with them, kind of similar to Glow, but it's procedural. So
Yeah.
we have an examination, which leads to revelation. We have to examine to reveal. It's the same thing that a doctor does. We got to
Yeah.
examine to reveal. Once we reveal what the issues and concerns are, then we transform. And from the transformation, so examination, revelation, transformation, then we can start. That's the fun part for me. It's the hard part, then it's the emotional part, then it's the fun part, right?
Yeah.
And then we get into the transforming. Now they're implementing. So now we're in implementation, right? So now we're doing new things and you're starting to feel good again. It's like, so it's kind of the comeback,
Yeah.
overcoming
We
that
actually have
outside
very similar
validation.
methods. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then when they get to the implementation stage, now they can begin to manifest the goals that they wrote in the beginning.
Yeah.
And so it really is. And I'll give you a good example. I worked at a collection agency. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. I was the good collector, right? And I realized that education is the key, right? So just like
Yeah.
you're teaching, we're gonna get into your book next. We're gonna get in that book next, right? And I needed to know what all the different components said to the customer before they got to me. And the only
Mm,
way to do that, each component had its own script. So I started visiting each component on my lunch period to get a copy of the script until I had them all. Now I got me a little package and I could say, well, what they should have told you was this, and what they should have told you is this. No, that's not correct.
mm,
So here's let me correct it and then inform. And so my supervisor, being the scuzz bucket that he was, started yelling at me across the floor. And I was like, oh, you finna get all this smoke today because I'm sick of you, right? You will not keep talking to me like your name on my birth certificate. You just don't. Oh, maybe I'll be quiet because there go his supervisor behind him and he don't see him. So let keep going. I just because see, when I go file a complaint, your supervisor is a witness. This
mm.
is the way I'm thinking. But his supervisor said, you know what? I was coming up here to talk to you about the very same thing. Well, his supervisor said, he said, no, the client is on site. They got wind of what you were doing and they want to say thank you. Oh, the looks I gave him. Without having to say a word. But that man taught me a lesson. We walked down the hall. He said, look, I can't do anything about him right now. He said, but I want to tell you, you give your, as long as you do your best, you give your clients that you serve your absolute best, your company, the company you work for, does not owe you accolades. They owe
Mm.
you a paycheck on time and correct. He said, so you give yourself your own accolade. I had to let that sit. So I didn't need that was the first time somebody told, I didn't need external validation.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice, but you don't need
And
it.
that's exactly what he said. It's nice when they do, but all
Yeah.
they owe you is a paycheck, that those hours are right, that bonus is right. But what he reminded me was that, how do your customers feel when you give them, he said, because I've listened to your calls. He said, you overeducate. I learned a few things myself listening to, like you over here quoting FDCPA laws and everything. He said, so I know what you tell them. He said, how do they feel? Because we've heard the thank you. Nobody's ever told me that. Oh, I will try that. I said, oh, he said, that's all the accolades you need.
Yeah, because they probably feel seen and understood, whereas
Yeah.
everyone else is just nagging them to pay their bills.
Pay a bill, pay a bill, pay
Yeah.
a bill. So so for me, this is what I mean when I said I wasn't sure who was going to answer the call when I was looking for speakers, right? I wasn't sure, but I've been praying about it and I'm still in prayer about it. This is alignment. This
Yeah.
is true alignment. So I brought that up to say that we glow, whatever my process is, at the foundation, it's the same. We're helping the same people. And
Yeah.
so I'm loving this. So now let's get into this here book. I got my slippers on right now. And you couldn't pay me to go running across anything with them on. But the name of your book, runninginslippers.com. Y'all go over there and check it out. Check it out. First of all, let's talk about the title. How
Yes.
did you come up with that title?
Well, first of all, I live in Hawaii and
Don't rub it
flip-flops
in. Don't rub it
yeah,
in. Don't
I'm
rub
not
it
rubbing
in.
it in. Flip-flops are called slippers. So it really means running in flip-flops because you're probably wearing house slippers, right?
I am.
Yeah, but it means running in flip-flops. The story about how that actually came about is the introduction of the book, so I won't give that away.
Don't give it
But
away. Just a little bit though.
the overview of what it means, running in slippers is a metaphor for life because if you run in flip-flops or even house slippers, it could be fun and playful and adventurous, but it could also be scary, dangerous, and painful. So just like life.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. And so that brings me to the point where I am going to talk about for just a moment the reason why I started the sheeconomyhub.org. That is our nonprofit organization that is helping her find power in her prosperity. We are currently in our giving campaign, so be sure to check out that website. We're looking to sponsor 20 women to come to our in-person retreat here in Dallas. To give them an experience, to give them something to look forward to and planning out the course of their year. I am big on vision boards. It's a strategic roadmap to reach our goals. And so we want to bring on at least 20 extra ladies to participate, and you can help us out with a tax deductible donation. So listen, I want to ask Angie something else. Okay. I want to ask her, when you talk about self love, right? For self love, for the woman that's that's watching right now, because I've been in that seat where I was in need of someone to say something, to share something, and I wasn't getting it. So,
Yeah.
the woman who may be watching right now going, what do I do? I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, and I don't know my head from a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
What would you say to her?
I would say focus on yourself because that exhaustion, that burnout, it's from giving all your energy to things outside of yourself, chasing for that approval and validation. But it's within you, but you lose your entire identity changing things, like chasing the things outside of yourself. Because when I first went through my transformation, I didn't even know who I was. I had to rediscover the things that lit me up and like the process that I teach now. I went through it. So, but the more I started focusing on myself in terms of like, what do I want out of life? What is my purpose? Am I living in alignment with my values? What are my values? Am I living in integrity? And honestly just focusing on myself because no matter what goes around me, I go through my values list. Like, am I being authentic? Am I speaking my truth? Am I sweeping things under the rug? As long as I'm living in integrity to my values, I honestly don't even care what's going on around me. So when you focus on yourself, and it's a process, but when you focus on yourself, all that external validation and chasing slowly starts to fade away.
Oh, I love it. It's gonna make me cry. Because I can remember being at those different pitfalls in life, right? Without help, right?
Yeah.
And really trying to pull myself up by myself. But not just for me, I had children young,
Yeah, and that changes
right?
the dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah, so imagine trying to do that and really hold. So basically, not only am I trying to do it, but I'm kind of trying to do it in private.
Yeah.
I can't let them see mama falling apart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that dynamic has changed. And for what I would say to the woman who's in that predicament where you can't break down until the kids go to sleep,
Yeah.
right? Or the kids are gone, you know, they're out of there at school or something like that. I want you to celebrate any small step, every
Yeah.
small step that
That's
you
what I
take.
tell all my women. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if it's, you know what, I made it through the day and I didn't slap somebody. That's a celebration.
Agree. Or
Mhm.
even I tell women, because sometimes people get down on themselves because they're trying to implement change in their life and they're like, oh, but I wanted to say this and I didn't. And I'm like, just the fact that you are aware is a huge win.
Yes, and for everything. I got them out of the school, out of off to school. They don't have any bumps and bruises more than what they had yesterday. That's a
Perfect.
win,
It's a win.
right? He's upset because he wanted peanut butter and jelly, but Mama made bologna. That's a win. That's a win. He won't be
He had
hungry.
food. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. I love it. I love it. And Angie, I thank you because you didn't have to tell, even just the little that we shared. You didn't have to share that. And that's what these conversations are about, is being able to expose different perspectives on what prosperity is. So for anyone who is also a speaker or someone who just feels like they have a story to tell, that is how we teach each other, right? Sometimes we feel so I can't tell my dirty little secret.
Hmm.
Child, your secret ain't nothing we ain't heard. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not new. It's
Because just to be
not
clear, yeah,
new.
running in slippers is extremely vulnerable. And my biggest fear was that I was going to be criticized. I can't tell you how many people reached out to me and were like, this thing happened to me, that thing happened to me too.
But that's how it works. It's almost like a movement. The moment somebody raises their hand and says, this happened to me. Before you know it, it's 15 other hands in the room with technology. It's hashtag, and before you know it, it's a million views, and 90% of those views are saying, me too. So it really just takes the courage of one person. And so if that is you, I want you to join me the same way Angie did in the Prosperity Conversations 2025. It's leading down a pathway for us to do something even bigger together. And I'm excited about what that is. But these conversations really and truly mean so much to me. And I'm excited that you stepped up and you came up and you talked about it. If you guys missed that website, there it is one more time, runninginslippers.com. Go check it out. That's the best way to connect with Angie. Is there a contact you on there? Is there some way that they can?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
There's a contact form. It also has, I think, my social media handles. So yes, there's absolutely ways to get in touch with me.
Listen, there are ways, and honey, I'm gonna get in touch because when I need to touch down in Hawaii, I need a tour guide.
Exactly.
I need a tour guide. And so, Angie, thank you again for being with us today. Anything you want to say before we wrap up?
The last thing I want to say, because again, I used to live my life in a state of being unhappy and unfulfilled most of the time. And I never even thought that that was available to me because I didn't feel worthy of it. So I want everyone to know that if you are not feeling happy and fulfilled, that is absolutely available to you. And I am proof that that's possible.
I love it. I love it. Each one, reach one, and teach one. Angie, thank you for sharing your heart, your story of healing. Your story simply reminds us that prosperity is not found in chasing perfection. It's found in choosing peace, purpose, and self-love. To everyone watching, I want you to know that we're going to continue to make progress with purpose. All right. Because prosperity is not something you chase, it is something you choose. And no matter where you are on your journey, remember that success does move at the speed of execution, but the key word is to execute. I am the Nicole Johnson. This has been another episode of Prosperity Conversations. Until next time.